What's up, all you cool snakes and neonates? I've not long woken up and I get the joyous job of handling Roland's poop. Yes, Roland has finally pooped. It's taken him about a month. We've got to get a massive poop into this tiny little jar so that we can send it off to be tested, finally tested, to make sure that he doesn't have any beasties inside of him. So let's go and try and get a monumental poop inside this tiny little jar. That's going to be fun. So there is the mess at hand, and there's the size of the jar I have to get it in. Big snakes make big poops. Lovely. So there was no sort of instructions with the kit that we got. So I've just taken a section, because that was a massive long poops. I took a bit from each section of that poop and just put them all in here. They'll probably only use a tiny bit of this, but it's all in there. I've done what I can do. So let's pop it in the envelope and get it sent off, guys. And I'll see you in a moment with the results, but for me, I don't know how long it's going to be. See you in a second. And here is the beautiful, giant-headed man himself. Here is Roland. So guys, we've got the test results back, and it left me with a bit of mixed emotions. As you guys can see here, he got a clean bill of health, apart from one tiny little issue. You can see that there is a low threat of pinworm. Now, it is my understanding, hello my handsome beautiful man, it's my understanding that pinworm isn't actually that bad a parasite. I've been doing a lot of more research on them and looking up on it, and there are even some people that argue that they're actually good for an animal. They are a parasite that lives in the intestinal tract, so in the... oh, my camera light just died. So they live in the intestines, and they don't leave that. So they don't leave the intestines, they don't affect any other organs in the snake. It's my understanding the worst thing you're going to get from your snake really with these guys is diarrhea, or the opposite end, you can maybe get a bit of impaction from them. Now, in the email it was clarified, or it was said, that there was a couple of eggs found. It's all they found was a couple of pinworm eggs. Now, it's my understanding that pinworm can also affect mammals and insects. But the pinworm that affects mammals is separate or different to the pinworm that affects reptiles. Now, the fact that this animal has been captive bred for, to my knowledge, at least 5 or 6 years, or it's been in captivity for about 5 or 6 years. Remember, we don't know if little Roland here is wild caught, captive farmed, or captive bred. I managed to trace him back, a few owners back, about 5 or 6 years. So he's been in captivity for 5 or 6 years. If he had a big infestation of them, they'd have found more than just a couple of eggs. So I wonder if he's eaten a rat that's maybe had a few eggs in it, that they've survived down into the intestinal tract, then he has pooped them out. It's just been sheer coincidence that when we've put that test in, he's passed a rat with them in, because that has been heard of and has been known. So we have decided, with that in mind, not to treat him just now. We're going to wait and see. Now, he is, of course, he is with us, not only as an amazing pet and a beautiful man, he's also got a girlfriend, Lilith. So we are planning on breeding him once Lilith is old enough. But she's going to be about 2 or 3 years until she is breeding ready. Now, if this is just a couple of eggs that have passed through him, the treatment means pinning him down, grabbing him behind the head and sticking a syringe down his throat to give him medication for something he may or may not actually have. So, what we're going to do is we're going to leave treatment for now. He's got a few years until he's going to be physically introduced to another snake. he's already been in amongst the collection for quite a while. He's been in quarantine on Kitchen Roll for this whole time he's been here, with nothing has come off of it. His poops are nice and solid. He pees a lot, but I think that's just a dummerils boa trait. So he's got a while till he's introduced to Lilith. So we're going to wait until she's breeding ready. Before they're introduced, we're going to test him again and see if there is any further infestation of this parasite, if he has it. Now, you would think that if he had an infestation, there would be larvae and adults in that stool as well. There was only, in the words of the testers, there was only a couple of eggs found. Now, the thing that arose my suspicion in parasites was the bumps along his sides, as you guys may remember from the previous episode when we first got Roland here. Now, these parasites wouldn't cause that, so that was maybe glandular, it was maybe from the stress of moving, because he did have quite a stressful move, it was quite a distance away, and we did have a couple of hours stop where he was left in the cold in the car for longer than I would liked him of. So he did have a little bit of a stressful journey, so I'm wondering if it was just glandular. I've spoken to a few other level-headed herpetologists, reptile keepers, and they totally agree with me that is probably what it was. So like I say, the parasite he's got, if he's got it, isn't going to harm him in any way, shape or form. It's going to give him diarrhea at worst, and like I say, we are going to test him in a couple of years' time once Lilith is ready to breed, before they go in together. So with that being said, we don't need him to be on Kitchen Roll anymore. He's out of quarantine, he's got a clean bill of health pretty much, and he is he's cramped in a little 4x1 foot just now, 4x1.5. Now he's a 5, if being generous, maybe 6 foot snake. He's not terribly big. The male dummerils boas aren't actually quite that big a snake. The females are quite big. The males aren't that big. Lilith, his girlfriend, who's currently about 4 foot, is in a 4 foot by 2 foot. So we're going to swap her out. We're going to put her back in the one that she was actually originally in before, Roland's one, the 4x1.5, and we're going to pop Roland here into the 4x2. Eventually that 4x1.5, maybe even soon, is going to be built into a 4x3, and most of these are actually probably going to be built into 4x3s eventually, because this is going to be when all the animals settle down in their final homes. This is going to be the male side, and this is going to be the female side. So the 6 foots are going to be for the females, and the 4x3s are going to be for the males of what we have breeding wise. When we start breeding, we have the dummerils boas. We're going to try and get a girlfriend for Mordecai, the red-tail boa, so we want to get a Suriname or a Guyana red-tail, and we have the false water cobras. So we have the 3 species that we plan on breeding here. What we're going to do is breed 1 species a year. That way, one of them are going to breed, then they're going to get 2 years off, and then they're going to breed again, so that they're not being pestered, they're not being overbred, they're not being breeding machines. These guys are also still pets, still animal ambassadors. So really, we just want to breed them sort of once, 1 species a year, and we're going to rotate them like that, so they all get a good break in between. They're not being overworked and underpaid, so to speak, which is why they all have big vivs as well. So let's go and pop him in the shower and get him cleaned, because the dummerils boas like to pee, and Roland here is definitely no exception. I'm going to pop him in the shower, clean him off, get Lilith out, put her in the box, and switch everything over in these vivariums. And this is his girlfriend Lilith. Very strong snakes, dummerils boas. They sort of grab on and hold really tight. They're very interesting. I would say they're stronger than snakes like double their size. Maybe not the fact that they're stronger, but they use the strength. They're very tense, muscular snakes. They hold on as tight as they can, and your fingers go blue and things like that. Lilith here is actually an animal ambassador. She goes to kids' parties in the premium pack, and kids ask, "Can we put it around her neck?" And I don't let her around kids' necks, just simply because she holds on so tight. I want to inspire them, not scare them, and they panic if she was ever to sort of just hold on to their neck, with that comfort grip of hers being so tight. But she is stunning as well. She's absolutely beautiful version of the dummerils boas. The contrast in colour between these two is actually quite impressive. Thoroughly looking forward to putting these two together and getting some beautiful babies off of them, that's for sure, guys. So let's put her in her holding tub and get these Vivs switched over. You can see the colour difference between the two here when they're side by side. You can see Lilith there on the right, excuse the bedding, I've not had a chance to hoover, we have just been shifting Viv beddings around. But you can see Lilith on the right, far more sandy, light brown coloured. Her colour is just stunning, she is beautiful. She's a beautiful girl. Really light coloured. He is normally a more darker coloration. And he's actually particularly light right now because he isn't long out of shed. But they're both gorgeous animals. The dummerils boas really are beautiful. As you can see, he is considerably bigger than her. He is breeding ready, but she is not. And you can see the size of the head difference as well between him and her. She's still got a little pointy head on her, and he's got a big Brutus head on him. So there it is, the two. Hopefully going to be lovebirds when they're older. The two dummerils. They're extremely slow growing, the dummerils. So it will take them quite a while to hit maturity. So I don't really notice Lilith growing. But seeing her next to him there, I can actually see that she has grown since I first got her. And she actually has put on a bit of beef, but not... I can't see it because she is so slow growing, but it's actually really awesome to see them both there. Stunning, absolutely stunning animals, these two. Love the dummerils boas. Can't wait to start producing these guys. They're very small litters. I think they have up to about 12 in a litter. They're very large babies. Of course, the people that we got Roland from, you guys, I hope you're watching this. You haven't been forgotten. You will be first in line for a baby. And my buddy Max that looked after Mordecai for me for a while, he's also first in line for a baby off one of these guys. Or whatever we breed first. It depends if we find a girlfriend for Mordecai first. Because these guys will be a couple of years off breeding because she's still too young, too small, and I want to make sure that they are of size. I don't want to rush it. I don't want to get into it too quickly. I don't want them breeding before they're ready and waste time on the animal because you only get a couple of good out of the litter, if that, because she wasn't ready and things like that, even though he is ready. Yeah, I would say maybe 2 more years and she will be ready, I would reckon. There he goes in his new enclosure. Let's shut that. That's another reason we put Roland in here. You guys may remember he escaped and killed some tarantulas. Hehe, escape from that now, boyo. There we go. So this is the bare minimum I would give a snake like this. He is about 5-6 feet. This is a 4x2. I always say the minimum should be the back and the side of the Viv should be the length of the snake. But yeah, so this is his house for now. I will put a branch or something in there to make it a bit more appealing for him. Oh my handsome. Look at that head. Look at that pretty face. You guys remember when I first got him, there was scarring on his face from another escape attempt. I wonder if he's smelling Lilith from her being in there before. But he had scarring on his face from a previous attempt. Well, you guys can see there, that is all completely gone and healed up. There we go. Better shot there. Isn't that looking great? On both sides. The old owners did a fantastic job of medicating him and healing him up. So the bedding's a little low. When we get new bedding in, we'll top that up and we'll fill that up with some more for him. But right now I just wanted to get him into a bit of a bigger enclosure than what he was already in so he could stretch out, get him on some bedding. The poor boy has been on kitchen roll since he came here just through quarantine reasons. Plus they like to hide their poops. They sort of burrow in or nestle into their bedding and then poop inside their bedding. So I needed him a kitchen roll so I could guarantee to get his poop just sent away to be analysed and all that kind of stuff. And there he goes, enjoying his new house. And there's Lilith, back in her old enclosure. That's a really scabby old enclosure. I've had that enclosure I think for as long as I've kept reptiles. That enclosure's about 13 years old. It's got a new floor on it and stuff like that. But it's about to be remade completely into a massive enclosure. going to be expanded to the width of that enclosure, and it's going to go all the way back. So it's going to be like over a 4 foot, and then by 3 foot. So it'll be the same depth as Alita's Viv. So yeah, all the Vivs are going to be remade into bigger Vivs. So we're just making do just now, but that Viv is just fine size for her. Lilith does nothing but hide anyway. She doesn't have a light in there, unfortunately, but her light in her old Viv was never on because she was never out, so there's no point in me putting it on wasting electricity. If I seen her out, I'd put it on or whatever. If I was doing cleaning day and stuff, I would have it on, but it still wouldn't coax her to come out. She's just a very shy sort of snake like that. She prefers to hide away in a hole. So I'm not that fussed about this enclosure not having a light right now. There she goes. You're so pretty. You are. You're such a pretty girl. I see you with your angry eyebrows. I see you. Oh, you're a pretty. I'm giving Dad good shots. Well, the thing about male boas is they have big spurs in their tail end, and he just got me with them. So guys, that was our dummerils boa special. Where is he? There he is. That was our dummerils boa special. I hope you all enjoyed that. As always, like, subscribe, comment, share the channel around. You guys know what you're doing, you awesome bunch. Have a good day. Take it easy. Peace.